negativity, and I hate it. I hate that that's a thing.
I mean, people thrive on negativity. Have you seen online? Have you seen Facebook? Let's see. All right. Hopefully, everything is clean and collected, and we can do this. I don't want to learn more. It's fine. Go,
Damn it, I don't
go
want to
away.
look like I'm telling a fucking ghost story. I wish I could. I wish I had a light. A headlight, but I don't. 'Cause I'm a loser.
Because I'm a loser. I mean, I have a light, but it's faced backwards because otherwise, I literally look like the ghost you're telling a story about. Also, boys and girls, that is cigarette smoke because we are live.
Oh shit!
Don't worry, that was totally cigarette smoke. But what's up, guys? Welcome back to Digital Dive In, your proper gaming talk show. We're here, it's me and Jules, as per usual. We're going to be reacting to the State of Play 2023, the first one of the year. Had some not so big expectations. They already announced what they were basically going to be focusing on. But we just want to, go over it, talk about what we saw, talk about what we liked, what we didn't like. Jules is going to be talking a lot about some of these indie games because there are a good amount of indie games, which I kind of called. That's kind of obvious. But, what else are they going to show off? Obviously, we knew we weren't going to see Marvel Spider-Man 2. We weren't going to see, Wolverine. We weren't going to see anything for any, possible DLC for Horizon or any more footage of the DLC that's coming out for Horizon. Nothing on Ghost of Tsushima, nothing on Jedi Survivor. So, I mean, we weren't going to be seeing a lot of things. And I'm kind of surprised that they used this State of Play to show off a third-party title.
Right.
That's kind of surprising.
Right. Well, you mentioned Jedi Survivor. Jedi Survivor is also like.
Well, true. But I'm going through like the releases in my head of what's coming out this year or what's already announced to come out. I'm like, Jedi Survivor is not exclusive, but it is a third-party title and a really big one for PlayStation.
Yeah.
The first one did amazing on PlayStation, so I mean, it is what it is. Also, guys, if you see a gorgeous woman walking behind me, that would be my mother, because she's currently on the deck. So, yeah, just a heads up. Just a heads up, because I can't turn on the blur because it reduces the quality of my video. So there's that. But, anyways, we're not going to make this a super duper long live stream, just because, there wasn't a whole lot about the State of Play. But we're just going to be talking about what we liked, what we saw, what they showed off. Because they did show off a good amount. It was a standard, State of Play. It was about 45 minutes-ish. Maybe a little bit less. Maybe half an hour. Maybe just half an hour. I forget. I wasn't really paying attention to like how long it was.
Like 40 minutes.
Yeah, something like that. I just know the last bit was Suicide Squad killed the Justice League. They spent the majority of the show on that. At least the last third of the show on that. And for good reason, because they showed off a lot about that game.
Yeah.
But we'll get there.
So let's just jump right into it. I mean, a lot of people would say like Baldur's 3 getting a new trailer is pretty big.
That's kind of cool. I mean, I'm not a huge Baldur's Gate fan, but for those of you who are, new trailer out, and it looks like Baldur's Gate. So
no, it does look good. It looks like it's gonna be what Baldur's Gate fans want.
Yeah.
I mean, so the indie games were all really interesting in their own ways. Like I liked the first one was Tuchia, something like that.
Yeah, they had some really weird names for some of these
that one,
for some of the games that were coming out, but
like I could see why this game would be very, very appealing, like especially if I was in like a zen mode and I just wanted to chill and look at something pretty and have like
for sure.
And sometimes I do get moves like that, so I like that.
Was that Fox? Was that? No, the one that I saw. Yeah, the one that I saw that I thought was really, really interesting. That was actually, I think, a PSVR 2 game. Was the I forget the title is, but it was like the Don't Blink or don't or close your eyes or something like that.
Oh yeah,
But
yeah.
like basically
That
every single time you close your eyes, it advanced time, and that the concept is really really cool. The art style looked really really cute,
yeah.
and I guess the message behind it is kind of interesting too because they mentioned all about like you know you were blinking just to escape certain situations and certain interactions and events that you didn't want to see, and that has something to do with like ignoring certain aspects about life, and
And I
that's
could see
definitely going to
that.
be a deep game.
I could see that game getting real dark, real
Right.
dark.
But it doesn't have that vibe of like a really really dark game. Like I feel like it's gonna touch on some like darker aspects. Some
Like one thing I can think of a reason why you close your eyes is trauma.
well
That's a
exactly
different
exactly.
concept.
That's definitely what
You
they're
know?
gonna be talking about. I think, anyways. For the most part, I think that's definitely gonna be a theme throughout that game, and that's going to be very really interesting because there's some of those indie games that touch on like loss and trauma and heartbreak and the one, oh my god, blanking on the title, but it was the game that was basically themed around like anxiety and depression, where you're like on a ship being chased by that like shadow monster thing
I
through
think I
like an
remember hearing.
abandoned city. It came out like I think 1 or 2 years ago, but it got really really good reviews, and the whole concept was really really interesting. As someone who struggles with anxiety, I was like, this looks really good.
I mean, yeah, indie like non AAA games definitely do a good job of like having quality themes and really like touching on different parts of life. So like those games are like really really cool. Another one is like Hyperlight Drifter. That's a game made by a guy that was dying. And he
Yeah,
based the game all around like how you deal with loss and different philosophical themes. And it's like when you make games like that and then add like a nice creative aesthetic to it. It's beautiful. You know,
you're
um,
right. It
like
is.
that
Yeah,
one that was called Humanity. That one looked really cool. I'm like, you're like a dog shepherding like humanity through different stages of
yeah,
life.
that looked really
I was
interesting.
like, yo, this looks
I thought
really
that looked
cool.
really really cool.
I thought that was really dope. Yeah, and then that musical story one about the people in the band trying to like let go and move on in life or whatever. It was like a pseudo musical, pseudo
That one was
fun
weird.
focus. I thought that looked really cool though.
I got
Like,
like Beastars vibes from that. If you ever saw the show Beastars on
no,
Netflix, it's a really really weird anime, but yeah, I
I'm like,
get the idea,
it
but
just felt like a
I
Telltale
think yeah
with
yeah, but like the animals just looked really bizarre and wacky, and I was like, I don't know if I vibe with this that much, but
uh,
but it was
I
it
can
definitely could. It looks like it could be very very interesting. I'll leave it
yeah.
at that.
The one that I hated was Naruto Ninja Storm Collections or whatever the
Yeah,
fuck.
that was bizarre. It looks like they're just. It look. Isn't that just like a re-release or a remaster of Generations?
See,
Almost. It
they
looked like
didn't
Generations.
like they didn't say. They just said, "Hey, relive these battles."
Right.
Hey, find
Exactly. It was just like relive all this. It's like
hey,
I've
all
already
right. So
played it, and those
I'm like,
games
yeah.
still
So
live up.
like,
So
and it said collections. I'm like, so is it a collection of one, two, three, four, and like, is it a
right.
collection of all of them? Or is it just a all new game with all these elements mixed in from the old games? Like they didn't say which one it was. So I'm like,
Exactly. I'm like.
you didn't tell me anything, and I hate game trailers like this where they tell you things
They just
without telling you
show,
anything.
they just show a bunch of shit and be like, this is all
Like
you can
the
do. It's just
detail.
like, okay, what the fuck is this game then?
Yeah, like I was just like, what that was such a waste of time. I'm actually mad for them that waste of time making this.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
I
it
expect them
was
to do this for, like what 4 or 5 years, trying to make it next gen, quote unquote. And I'm like, this is what you thought that was a good idea to
right.
spend your time and money on. You couldn't have given us how about a new
A
anime
new, yeah,
game,
or just a new
different.
Naruto game in general. Like I would have taken a new Naruto Ninja Storm game because those games are fire. I love them to death. They may
Maybe
be my
evolve.
they may be
That's
my
the thing.
guilty pleasure fighting game, but I fucking love them so
I mean,
much.
it has to be a Boruto one because they've done all the story they could do with Naruto, and I don't
I
think
mean, yeah.
Boruto.
Well, they did a Bardo game. They did, that was Ninja Storm 4, wasn't it?
No, it was like a DLC that they added to Ninja Storm 4. It was
Ah,
like
okay,
Road to
fair.
and they added like a story, some stories stuff, and
Yeah.
then that was it. So it was, yo, there was a horror movie moment on your screen, like you just see this person just walking,
And then
walking in darkness, just walk by like on some fucking
mother.
on some horror movie shit, like something's haunting your house. I was like, oh yeah, right, your mom. I forgot.
Yeah, right. I want to know if this sound is coming on. So hold on, I want to hear. I want to see this. Hold up.
Yo, there was a horror movie moment on your screen, like you just see this person just
Burden.
walking.
I don't know. I'm trying to see if because I just put on some audio in the background because I always hate those streams that are just two guys just chatting and there's no sound whatsoever other than that. So I put on some beats, some royalty-free beats. Hopefully they're actually royalty-free. But if this gets copyright claimed, it doesn't matter because we don't make money anyways. But I'm curious. Hold up a sec. Let me just see if this is actually working. Oh wait, is it not going to come up because I'm... hold on a second, guys. Sorry to break the flow a little bit here. I just want to see this. Hold up. That's actually really cool. It is totally working, and it's not super loud either. So, dope. I'm going to turn it down a smidge more. But anyways. But yeah, so... Yeah, I don't know. There are a lot of indie games that showed off. What was another indie game that you remember that like struck you as like, oh, this could actually be kind of interesting?
Was those are all the ones I think we talked about all the games that they showed off.
Well, there were a couple. Well, I mean, there's a ton of PSVR 2 games, and honestly, like none of them really looked that much different from the first PSVR. I just want to put that out there first. I kind of understand the point of making a PSVR 2 because they might have better, hardware that they can use to make their, VR headset better. Like, how the Oculus keeps on coming out with like new stuff. But now I think they haven't released a new like headset lately. They've just been getting firmware updates constantly.
Oculus?
If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but I mean, I think you have to experience PSVR. You have to like play it in order to understand that it does look better. Like I can see does look better. Like it even looks better performance wise. It looks better graphically. Like it does look better than the first one. So I think it. But also, I can see it from the outside looking in. But also, if I can see it from the outside looking in, then I know people that have one or were looking forward to it are really, really hype.
Fair.
But yeah, VR is not my lane. So
I mean, it's really not for me either. It's just like, I really want to get into VR, but at the same time,
worth
like
it for at least 10 years, man. Like I'm calling it now. It will not be worth getting into for 10 years, at least 10 years.
Exactly. And that's why I'm just like,
I don't need to be at the fucking ground level like, oh man, I was with it when it sucked. I already did that with video games already. I've been 20 years
I was there when
like,
the Dark Magic was written.
Like I was there for the first time video games boom period. So I don't need to go for VR too.
Yeah. No, I get it. I get it. I really want to get into VR because like the only game that actually piqued my interest for PSVR was Half-Life Alyx. That one I was like, oh, this actually looks like an actual, big budget VR game where you have a lot of control. It feels extremely immersive and all that. And I'm like, yes, awesome. This could be great.
I mean, for me, it was that game Runner that they just announced for PSVR.
Runner. Oh, yeah.
And it's the anime style, like Akira style game, and you're on the motorcycle shit up. I'm
It
like, all
does
right,
that one does
cool.
look really cool.
I was like, all right, this is the first game in the history of VR for the past 2 years that I've actually wanted to play. Besides Killing,
Right.
I do want to play Killing Floor, but I'm talking about brand new IPs. Killing Floor was lazy because it was already a thing.
I mean,
It was
yeah.
it was this, and then there was one VR game on Steam that I thought looked really good, and it was an FPS. And I was like, I know VR isn't for me because out of the last 5 years, 6 years, they've been pushing this shit. This is the only game, the only two games that I actually thought looked cool. I'm like, I'm
That
good.
one, the Foglands sounded kind of interesting. That very
It did,
first one that they showed
yeah,
off, that one
yeah.
kind like could look kind of cool. That reminded me of that Witch Killer game that's coming. I guess coming out this year.
Fire.
Is it coming out this year? Witchfire, yeah. Is that coming out this year? Or did it already come out?
Yeah, no, it's coming out. The FPS, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's coming out this year. I'm so
Oh yeah.
excited for that. Oh, I can't wait for that shit.
I thought
Ooh.
so. Yeah, no, that one looks super super cool, and the Foglands kind of gave me, Witchfire vibes. I was like, ooh, interesting. All right, this could be cool. This would be really cool. I'll be interested to see how well PSVR 2 does, because the first PSVR did okay. It was more gimmicky than anything else. I don't know. I don't know really what they're doing different for PSVR 2. Obviously, I'm not that well versed in VR, so
They're adding more like how do I explain this? They're at well, whatever what the limitations from PSVR, they pretty much are increasing it. Like,
that's okay. That's
lag when
interesting.
you're like I forgot how to explain it, and I'm not going to explain it because it's stupid. So
Nah, it's
just
totally fair.
everything they did in the first one, like I
They're
even
just
think
ramping everything up.
yeah, and I think it's
Yeah.
even at more like the equivalent of what 60 frames would be in VR. I think
Ooh,
they're doing that. It's
that
closer to
okay?
that. Like,
That's
because I remember when PSVR came out and it looked very like
yeah. It was bad. It was not a
yeah,
good experience because my
but
my buddy had or my office got a VR headset before. It was
okay,
like, but that one was like I think one of the HTC Vives ones that were like,
mm,
so
yeah. But like this one, everything looks way more smooth. Everything looks,
it
it's
does.
more immersive and everything. It looks like it definitely is. Even from not being able to really talk the lingo, it does look better. But for me, number one, I'm on my way to becoming a PC god, and I'm not going back. I'm not stepping backwards and inside the VR lane. No, man. I'm
That's
good.
fair.
You
No,
know, and plus,
I mean, the thing is, you need a PC to play a lot of the good VR games. Like if you got like an Oculus Rift or an Oculus Quest, you need a PC to run that shit. So you can't just do that on PlayStation or anything. You need a PC.
I don't care about PC VR either. For me, it's just like I don't like my hearing and my sound to be blinded from the real world. I need to have some type of awareness where I can see or hear what's going on outside. Like
See, that's the thing. That's
that's
the
just,
thing. Like
that's
if I'm playing a game, I have my headset on. I can't hear shit with
right,
these
but I
on.
can still see.
Like,
Like
I mean,
yeah,
yeah, kind of. But I'm like, so I'm not really paying attention to shit around me.
I mean
Like,
yeah, but like you can still like if worst comes to worst, you can still like be aware of
I
what's
mean,
going on
yeah,
around you.
sure.
That's
The one,
me, and that's my just humane animalistic
yeah,
survival instinct that all humans have. Like I
that's
need to
fair.
like I don't like having my senses cut off just to be immersed because like
I mean, I wouldn't mind that at all. Like the thing that I really want with VR, like if I had the money, right, I would buy the Oculus Quest, and then I'd buy one of those freaking treadmills that strap you in, and everything's connected. You got the haptic vest and the controllers, and you can like run and move and everything. Like that sounds freaking lit. That sounds awesome.
I mean
Ah.
and the thing with me is like when I first did a VR headset, I went over to my friend's house and he had a Samsung VR headset. So
Oh
I was
yeah,
playing,
the things they
so
put
I
your
was playing,
phone in, whatever.
so I was playing
Yeah, I had
the
those
VR
too.
ones on Samsung and like they were dope, but it was like scary. I was like,
I would
my
love to see you play Resident Evil in
no, like
VR.
wasn't scary because of the game that I was playing. It was scary because I've never had my senses cut off. Like I felt like blind to the real world while
I
I'm trying
mean,
to.
fair. I get
You
it.
know, and I
That
was
makes
like,
sense.
I almost ran into his living room counter. I almost ran into his dining room table. I almost fell.
Yeah, you're not supposed to really like move around, just like turning. You're not supposed to really like be like walking and shit.
You know, it's
Like
just
that's why I really want like that treadmill idea. Like that thing looks so freaking cool. I've seen like, a couple people use it too in like those VR cafes and whatnot. She looks
like,
so cool.
I was playing this game called Skyscraper. So like you had to walk on a fucking balance beam.
That sounds terrifying.
Like it
Like,
wasn't
no.
even terrifying because I was just like, yo, what the fuck? I actually can't see the real world while I'm immersed in this. Like,
Well, that's the idea.
I'm used to being able to do both, you know. So like,
Well, that's the idea with virtual reality. It cuts you off from everything to put you inside a virtual reality.
it's too immersive.
There's no such thing as too immersive, okay? I still want full dive VR. I don't even think I'll get into VR until they do full dive VR, which will be in like 50 years and I'm dead. But
I'm very much paranoid. Like, what if somebody breaks into my house?
well,
What
you
if-
do live in Shitsville, Philly, so I mean,
What if something happens to the cats and I'm so immersed I can't see or hear? So that means if it's dying in front of me, I can't see it. Like that's what I'm saying. It's so
you'll be
immersive.
fine. The chances of them dying in front of you while you're in VR versus you playing a regular game are about exactly the same.
Or anything else, like seeing rodents run in my house. I need to be aware if there are things running around in my house in the darkness, you know, or whatever, you know, something's going on outside. I need to be aware, you know. I need to be aware of my surroundings.
God. See, that's why you lock yourself in a room and put on the VR headset and disappear into that world.
Nobody hurt me. Nobody touched me as a child. I just have very, very strict paranoia about this. People have gotten robbed and killed in less unsuspecting situations.
See, I have an off-color joke that I can't say because we're on YouTube, but yeah. Oh my god. But no, I don't know. PSVR 2, like some of the games that are coming out look interesting. I know there's like a Star Wars Squadrons VR game coming that looks kind of interesting. I know that No Man's Sky still supports VR, and they just came out with a new update, which looks freaking dope because it gives you a brand new ship and shit. And yeah, I love No Man's Sky. I could talk about No Man's Sky for freaking ever. But God,
make my VR bit a short video and put it on YouTube.
yo, right? So I might remix that. I might do that. That's a good bit. That is a good bit. I'm not even gonna lie. But no, there's a lot of the indie games that they showed off were interesting to say the least. I think we already talked about all the ones that were the most interesting.
Yeah.
So it's like there's not much more we can say about them, but I don't want to jump into. I want to give you another chance to rant while we have the chance because there are two showcases this week. There was obviously the State of Play that came out today. Oh wait, before we even do that, dude, we did not even talk about Street Fighter 6.
Yo, rant number 2. Why are they making these fucking characters thirst magnets? Like, why? Why? You saw
They've
that
always been. They have not changed that at all. They've always been thirst magnets. Do you forget Ivy from Soul Calibur like 3? Like, dude. Yeah, like come on, man.
By the time they got the 4, them jiggle mechanics was on point, dog.
Like you're talking about how they making them thirsty now. They've been thirsty. Have you seen Chun-Li?
Yeah, but they're doing it in a certain way now that it's purposeful. Before it was just like, oh, that's just the anime.
No, dude, it's always been purposeful, and you know that. Like they have not hid that shit. That has always been purposeful.
Or it was like a low key thirst, like you know.
No. Chun-Li was the absolute definition of thick thighs save lives. Yeah, like, come on now.
But they weren't alluding to that. Now they're doing zoom up shots in their fucking.
Well, fair. The trailers, I'll give you that. The trailers, I'll give you that for sure.
You know, of course they show her doing some kind of fucking V porn stretch, like, I'm like, bruh, like she don't stretch like that. Like she don't need. All right, whatever. Like, and then like at the end, of course, it's like, oh, there are more missions to do. Butt jiggle, zoom in.
Butt jiggle.
I'm just like, cool. Like they weren't doing that before. Like,
hey,
come
you know
on.
what? You know what? Thirst traps are the biggest thing on TikTok. So you know what? If you gotta make a trailer or thirst trap, by all means do it. Gamers who haven't touched grass in 12 years are gonna love that shit. So.
Like, what the fuck? I'm expecting to see a dick shot from Zangief in the next.
I mean, we did get some close up on his man titties, so I mean, we're getting there. We're gonna get like the Zangief butt jiggle in the next video. Boom, boom.
I mean, I thought the characters looked really good.
They didn't really show off much about the game. They just showed off. They just did two character showcases, and that was pretty much it.
Yeah, it's not fun games low key.
I know. It's just like do something new. Like I don't know. That's the thing with like fighting game trailers for me. They usually don't hit on me just because they just showcase a couple characters doing extremely similar moves, and that's it. Like at least the freaking Tekken 8 trailer showed off mechanics and shit, right? Or showcase. At least they did that though, right? Like these trailers should be showing more than just characters. Like, yeah, we already know Zangief is going to be in the game. Like that's a guaranteed. Like, duh.
We never saw gameplay. So that's the thing. You don't.
The gameplay looks the same from the last Street Fighter game. I mean, God.
It doesn't hit for you because you're not in the FGC community. Like you don't.
That's
like,
fair. That's fair. I'm not.
We're looking at frames. Fighting game.
You're not gonna see that shit in the trailer, though. You're not gonna see that shit in the trailer.
Bro, it's like fucking Einstein, or like how people do geometry in their head. They can see the frame data. They can see what counters work, how things are interacting with the environment. Like,
I mean, kinda.
And then also like you're looking at. They always tweak the balance of frame data each fucking fighting game for each fucking fighting IP. So, like, when you're watching the trailer, they're not just showing you similar moves. They're showing you how moves flow into each other, what kind of flow and combo capacity and combo, expectations you can have when you're watching that trailer. And then plus, especially if you play this character, you'll be looking at things differently than somebody that doesn't play that character.
No, that's fair. That's fair. Speaking of playing characters, who's usually your Street Fighter man?
It's always been not, and don't you dare fucking call me a basic bitch. It's always been fucking Ryu.
Yeah. How did I freaking know that? Because, I mean, that's fair. I'm horrible at Street Fighter, so yeah, I usually go that route too.
Well, it's not even that. Like, I just never found other characters that really tickled my fancy. Like character-wise, like I like the character I'm playing, and the fact that he has a devil mode made him interesting.
Oh yeah, of course. Like he's the main. He is the main character. Like
no, it's just because he's so noble and then sometimes he actually falls to it on purpose, and he has like a different style of character. Oh, I did like Dudley. Never mind. If we're going by Third Strike, I love Third Strike. That's probably my favorite Street Fighter game. I played. It
was on your draft.
Huh?
It was on your draft.
Oh yeah, it was. I played Dudley or who else did I play? Dudley was my other character I played after Ryu.
I didn't play too much Street Fighter, so I don't even think besides Ryu.
And I played with Cody. Cody was dope.
Cody, Cody was dope. I always loved doing Zangief in like the arcade games. He was fun as shit to play.
I don't play grapplers in fighting games ever. I've never been a grappler type of guy, but like
I mean, typically I'm not either, but he's just fun as shit to play though in Street Fighter.
And I've never wanted to play Zangief before either. Street Fighter 3, 4, 5. I've never wanted to play against Zangief, but this game, like, he actually looks really dope.
He does look cool. He does look cool. I like that they're giving him a spotlight too. That's kind of dope.
And then that next chick, that new chick, Wen chick.
I don't even remember her name to be honest.
I don't either. She's new, so of course you're not going to. This is the first time I'm seeing her. But no, she looks pretty dope too. I can see people like that aren't really into like the bulky guys or martial arts people. The one thing I will say about like whenever they introduce a new character in fighting games, like it's so hard to
not compare them to similar characters. Because I mean, like when they introduced Rain in Mortal Kombat, what was that, 10? I think that they introduced Rain. Like he was basically just a Sub-Zero clone, but with water powers instead of ice. So it's like it's so hard to like not compare them because half the time they make characters modeled off of other existing characters.
Oh yeah, and so a lot of times they do that because they take the original characters out. Like, and they've
True.
been doing that a lot with Tekken lately, and that's one of the reasons. That was one of the gripes I had with them. Like, they took out Master Raven. And I'm like, why would you take out Master Raven?
You know, I'm gonna let you rant about Tekken 8 right now because that was the other showcase that they showed off this week. And this dude's been going off on our group chat. And I don't know if you're ever going to have the chance to talk with KJ, so you might as well just rant for a bit. And then if you guys still want to do the video, like, by all means, go for it.
We'll still do the video. I mean, for me...
Because KJ has very different opinions about it.
Yeah. I mean, clearly. That's why I didn't want to talk about it without him here.
But no, I mean, if you want to just put out, like, your opinion of it, that's fine,
Tekken 7, they took out Raven, and I hated that because they replaced it with Master Raven. Let me correct myself. And I was like, why did they do that? And they just made her like kind of like an alternate version of Raven. So like I was like, that was weird. And plus, she has no real character backstory that is really sticking. So whatever. But no, I mean, I'm not even going to make a whole big thing about this just because I want to do an actual video.
That's fair.
Pretty much. So long story short, guys, I pretty much announced in our little group chat that I was stepping away from Tekken indefinitely. I played since Tekken 3. I love Tekken. But I got to the point where I watched that showcase, and pretty much they were just modeling and promoting the game off of gimmicky mechanics and, just not anything skillful at all. It was just like they were just like dumbing things down, and then you could tell they were talking about just, and I'd say simplifying in terms of like just tactic. Like it was all about just playing aggressive, like pretty much they want to model the game through this heat system, and like you get heat system by hitting somebody or making somebody guard and attack. The perks. It's like all the perks of the game mechanic wise come from just wailing on somebody, and it's just like, well, where's the defense? There's no defensive options besides doing a power crush. They talked about this one defensive move that still makes you take damage. So it's not really a defensive move. It just lets you power through somebody's attack so they can get a hit.
Is there still like a block though, at least, or?
No, it's just you're just going to be normal blocking. There's no like extra, there's no extra defensive mechanics.
Not that many counter moves that you can do.
I mean, you can, of course, you have your parries and stuff like that you can do, but like they're doing this heat system just based off of just keep attacking somebody. It's just like,
so it's gonna be going back and forth between just wailing on each other until someone wins.
And then another thing, and I'm gonna make this the last thing so we can move on. It's just like they mentioned that you could, if you use this heat system, there's 5 heat moves that get you into like this heat state, and this heat state you do like more damage and all this other stuff.
Interesting.
And like there's 5 ways or 6 ways to get into the C system. They literally, and Tekken has a 50 plus move list for every character. Every character has at least 50 moves or more. They said, hey, if you just use these 5 moves, you can play Tekken pretty well. And I'm like, so you're just reducing the game of Tekken. The one thing that I found, one of the things that I loved about Tekken and made it so interesting is that you have 80 moves to choose from. This person could come from you from any kind of direction, and you have to be able to adapt and prepare for it. And that made it exciting. And I would say, hey, if you just use these 5 moves, just focus on getting into a heat system, and then just keep attacking. So like, eventually they'll either break their guard or something like that, and then just play aggressive.
It's kind of a bummer.
So, and I get Tekken is chasing trends so they can keep up with the other fighting games, but like it didn't need to do that.
I mean, to be fair, Tekken is, I don't want to say like an underrated or niche fighting game, but they're definitely not on like the most popular fighting games of all time anymore. They're one of the classics, 100%. They're like definitely like in that realm of like Street Fighter, Tekken, Mortal Kombat. We're like
the 3 top fighting games.
Yeah, exactly. But like, there's so many new fighting games coming out that like they're trying to keep Tekken fresh because it's been around for so freaking long. Which I completely understand. I mean, that's the same thing that Mortal Kombat did. Mortal Kombat came in and basically rebooted the entire game with Tekken or Mortal Kombat 11, you know? And they were trying to throw in new, fighting systems and stuff with like that, the new combo set or like the move set in, what was it, 10, I guess? So they keep trying to do new stuff, and some of it hits, some of it doesn't. I mean, I didn't mind the moveset, presets in Mortal Kombat 10. I thought that was interesting. Definitely made it easier for like casual fans to get in and play the game, which I appreciated as a casual fan. And KJ was right, where he says like, they're targeting people like me who aren't these like hardcore fighters, but still want to play these games because they are fun as hell. But at the same time, there is definitely a gentle balance between making it accessible for new players, but still technical enough for y'all. And some people hit it and some people don't.
See, here's the thing. Do you change the difficulty of chess? Do you change the difficulty of an NBA game because somebody cannot live up to the standards and play? No, you either get better or you get lost.
Yeah, except that's a really good way of like alienating a lot of gamers. And people try to make money, bro.
So what? You want to be lazy? I'm sorry.
People try to make money. People try to make money.
That's the problem.
That's the gaming industry, my guy. Like, I don't want to tell you.
Gaming industry. Yes, we don't want to get paid for what we do, but what's important is the creativity.
No, it is. It is. I'll give you that.
Sell the product. That's why the business is in reverse. It's like, yo, that you go for quality, you make the quality, then you get the money. You don't get the money.
That's even why like games like Guilty Gear Strive didn't really hit, because they weren't as technical as XRD, for example. That's the thing. So it's like
that built you up, then you're going to lose fans regardless. You're either going to, and then the people that are newbies, they're just coming in. They can be wishy-washy. They could just see another pretty fighting game over there and then leap. And then meanwhile you just lost your hardcore fan of like 10 plus years, and once a lot of people once they leave, they're not going to come back. So it's
I would for like fighting games, and I don't want to make this into a huge conversation piece, but for fighting games and games and franchises in general, like even if you lose a player for like one game, right? Even if you lose a fan or a couple fans or a handful of fans for one game, that doesn't mean they're gone forever, right? Like there have been plenty of people who've fallen off COD and gotten back in with the next installment, or fallen off of like any franchise game. Fighting games is no different. So it is really just like they might lose some fans, but they're gaining new ones with these more accessible mechanics. Then the next game they're going to ramp up the technicality of those move sets to urge players to get to know the game, get to play it better, yada yada yada.
It's like if they stick, But
exactly. If they stick. I mean, hell, Mortal Kombat 10, like Mortal Kombat 11, got rid of those preset moves because it didn't hit.
And it's just, we live in a world where it's just like, hey, make these games more accessible, but then you go off and play fucking Dark Souls. Go off and play Bloodborne.
Fair.
So it's like, can we keep games at a standard? If this is a hard fighting game,
thing is, the standard's always going to be moving. Standard's always going to be moving with new generation of gamers coming in, new people getting into gaming. The standard's always going to move. Like the standard for like the best shooter has changed drastically in the last 15 years. So it's like even for like the standard for the like best linear games has changed over the last 15 years. So it's always going to be changing as the years go on and new generations come in.
Before anybody wants to be a fucking smartass, I'm not talking about for disabled kids or something like that, or
bro.
I
don't think anyone is even thinking about that. That's accessibility. That's a whole other thing.
But like it's just like there's a standard. These are games that are hard. These are games that are not hard. These are games that are brain dead. Those are standards. Stay in your lane. Stay in your lane. God. Don't try and lower yourself because people don't want to rise to the occasion. If you Doom, perfect example. Doom's a hard game. Was I ass at it? Yes, I was. What did I do? I practiced. I got in there. I played day after day, and I got good. Not the disrespectful, ignorant got good. I legitimately just got better at the fucking game. Same thing with Devil May Cry. Same thing. Like, games are hard and technical, so you can rise and become better, and then become a better gamer, have better skills in games, and that makes you feel good.
Exactly. You know? Hell, I had that with freaking Hogwarts Legacy, and most people say that's a very easy ass game. There's some bits of it that are hard as fuck. All right, I fought the first like big ass pensive guardian thing that kicked my ass 3 times. Because like I didn't read the freaking note on the side of the screen that said how to beat it. I'm just like, wait, what? I'm just shooting freaking spells at it, hoping I hit. And as soon as it does this giant orb thing, I run away, but it still hits me. I'm just like, how are you supposed to beat this guy? And then I realized, oh, it's the same color as the 2 spells. Oh shit! And then I did that, and then it blinked green over, and so I'm like, there's no side. I did not notice. What the shit? So, so that was an L on my side. But still, like that game is all about, you know, learning how to use the different spells for the different enemies and shit. So every game has that, you know, every single game has that.
And like I've seen people in the chat be like, look, I know there's some techie purists out there. You know. That's the thing, you know, people that are fans of the game aren't going to like this, so don't try and defend it when you know this is.
It is, dude. It is what it is. At the end of the day, like people are going to, like you know, target the younger generation to try to get them into the game because otherwise, if you keep the game super technical, you're not going to be able to bring in any new gamers. You're just going to have the same old fans, and that's fine. But it's a way to get left behind.
Necessarily true, because that's the thing, we all had to start somewhere. The game was technical. How do you think it got fans when it was technical? Because it was cool and because people liked it.
The difference with us is we started playing hella early on some of these games. All right, a lot of people our age started at the first Halo. All right, so you know they got like really shitty quality gameplay, even though Halo was way ahead of its time. But like they had to suffer. We had to suffer through really bad gameplay to get where it's at now. Kids now, they're starting like the pinnacle of gaming, right? But they're starting getting into franchises that have been established for years. So at some point, they're going to have to freshen up and try to get new players into that.
If you don't like it, step off. Don't be a bandwagon.
Man, you can't just say that though. Like. You're not going to get new gamers. That's the thing. But anyways.
Like, just being unashamed to be who you are will get you your community. Just be who you are, man. Just don't. Yeah. You know, like.
There is something to be said for people who get into these franchises that, you know, just evolve from where they are and they stay at that technical level. So it's like trial by fire type of thing. So there is something to be said about that. But at the same time, you can't fault a dev for, you know, trying to reach the younger generation. The new gamers.
I'm going to say Dark Souls. That's all I'm saying.
Dark Souls is a whole other beast and you can't say shit. Elden Ring was the easiest Dark Souls game they've ever released. All right? Like, come on. But anyways.
But yeah. Anyway, so
there's a big ass conversation that we may or may not have on the channel, depending on if Jules and KJ want to push it on Digital Dive-In, the Proper Gaming Talk Show, or you know, Smoke Shop. I forget what KJ's channel name is. I don't know if he even launched it yet, but I know Jules has his own personal channel too. So it's either going to be one of these 3 channels, whichever one we're going to promote it on everything else. So make sure you stay tuned for that video. Right, Jules?
And I'm probably gonna have like guest star on there also. So it'll probably be a few.
Yeah, Eddie. He came in on the Game Awards video.
Yeah.
Towards the tail end. He was chill.
Yeah, Bane Games.
Yeah, for sure. So to wrap this video up, it's been 44 minutes already. We've been talking mostly about fighting games. Suicide Squad. So they showed off a demo of Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. And some dev talk talking about the characters, the way you play, the style, everything. first things first, I just want to say this game is bumming me out the more I see about it. And two, really briefly, because they've been hitting this hard. The game is said to be the next installment of the Arkhamverse, except Batman looks absolutely nothing like he did in the Arkham games. Fucking zero. He looks like Injustice Batman, or even closer, Gotham Knights Batman. He looks like a blend between those two. He does not look like Arkham Knights or Arkham City Batman. Nothing like him. Zero.
I mean,
nothing. You see this full thing. In freaking Arkham Knight, the dude was a hulking buff dude, right? The dude is huge.
He's also hasn't been practicing Batman for 5 years. He has. We don't know.
He should have been in hiding because he died at the end of Arkham
saying.
Knight. But either way, like the dude looks like a way slimmer Batman than in the Arkham series, right? He doesn't really look like the Batman that we've had. So even like 5 years, okay, cool. We had like what? The Arkham series took place over like 15 years, 10 years, something like that. It's a while. Like, is 5 years really going to change his entire muscle mass and his entire style and everything? No, fucking won't.
I think it was that long. But,
I'd have to look it up. But I'm pretty sure it was at least 10 years.
It's a story for another day.
Yeah. But I just want to put that out there because nah.
Fun. It looks very fluid. It's very fast-paced and actiony. It's I see some sick moves. I see myself playing with Captain Boomerang, aka Mr. Badass, Mr. Comedian.
No, me too. I'm 100%. If I get this game, because it's a big if, definitely gonna be maining Captain Boomerang.
King Shark also looks fire. Just like the way that they wanted to make the game. I see why they did what they did, with the momentum moves, and they were focused on fluidity, action. Like I'm kind of getting, as far as like the way combat paces, I'm kind of getting like a Doom Eternal feel. Where it's like,
I'm getting Gotham Knights vibes. Like this game looks almost identical to Gotham Knights combat.
No, it is completely different.
But with guns.
It looks completely different. The pacing of the combat looks a lot different.
Well, it is a lot more fast paced, sure.
Yeah, it's just giving me different like multitasking, like just a bunch of enemies. You're multitasking, you're dashing, you're shooting, you're doing some melee combat, then you're busting out super moves, and like it just looks very much kind of like, as far as pacing goes, just like reminds me of that. And it just looks real fun, man. It just looks like a fun time. I'm excited.
Yeah. Okay, so here's my thing. Like, yeah, it does look fun. It looks like a, good old video game thing, right? It doesn't look like an Arkham series game in the slightest. It doesn't look like anything we've seen from the Arkham games. And if you're going to make a game that's rooted in the Arkham series, why fuck with that format? Like, no, just don't. Like, it doesn't look anything like the Arkham games.
Did you hear what they said? This is in Metropolis. Metropolis does not look like Gotham.
No, I'm not talking about looks, right? I'm not talking about like the setting and shit. I'm talking about the combat and stuff. Like nothing looks even remotely similar to the Arkham games. And I'm not saying that the game had to be, cut and paste Arkham, right? No, I'm not saying that whatsoever. Again, and I've said this from the very beginning, right? This game, or Gotham Knights, would have made way more sense to be set in the Arkhamverse than this game. This game would have made way more sense to just be its own standalone game, like Gotham Knights was.
It doesn't, because of the way the story is, but I can't tell you how the story is because it's going to spoil it. I don't do that shit.
Don't really give a shit, but either way. Okay, look, I get the story in Gotham Knights. Like they, Batman's dead in the beginning of the game because it starts off and they kill him off. That's whatever. But like they could have just changed it to the story. Batman's dead. The Bat family takes over. That would have gone smoothly from Arkham Knights into Gotham Knights. That would have made fucking sense. But no.
It's about creative liberties. They wanted to do a completely different story, stepped away from that. They would have to stay in the lines of that, like they did with Arkham
Origins.
whatever, Arkham Origins.
Yeah, except Arkham Origins was the dev of Gotham Knights.
Yeah,
And
they
then
wanted to
all throughout the Arkham games, like, okay, if you want to make a Suicide Squad game, do not tie it to the Arkham games. That's the thing. That's
in
the issue.
Arkhamverse.
You have
What
so
do you
much.
mean? It's the Arkhamverse. What do you need?
No, I'm saying if you're going to make a Suicide Squad game, do not tie it to the Arkhamverse. Because the Arkhamverse is already set. We've already seen Deadshot in the Arkhamverse, and does not look the same here. He looks completely different. His style and everything is completely different. Like, everything about this game does not feel Arkham at all.
It's not supposed to.
But then why set it in the Arkhamverse? Why set it 5 years after Arkham Knight? Why even do that? Just set it in its own thing. Just make a new IP.
Dude, is everybody supposed to have the same vibe in the same universe? No, everybody has different vibes in the same universe. That's why they're doing it from this perspective. They literally
But
said,
set characters should have the same vibe. That's what I'm saying. Batman should have the same vibe, which from what we saw, very little, but from what we saw, does not feel the same vibe. He feels way more like Injustice. He feels this way more like Injustice Batman. Deadshot
You haven't
seems.
seen anything from him to say that.
I'm just going by looks alone, dude. All right, like I'm just going by looks alone. Like the Arkham games made a real big effort on making everyone seem very gritty, very gothic, right? That was the idea for the Arkham games. Everyone had that kind of style. All the even Deathstroke, Deadshot, Ra's, Talia, Harley, all of them had that style. Harley Quinn looks nothing like she did in the Arkham games. Fucking zero.
I mean, she does.
She does not. She looks nothing like she did in the Arkham games. It's not even voiced by the same person. So I was like, what the hell? Okay. And then you have Deadshot, who also, again, looks nothing like he did in the Arkham games.
All that was tied to the presence of Gotham. That was tied.
It doesn't matter. It does not matter. You're going to have the same style no matter where you go in the world. Like, are you going to have a totally different style if you go to, New York than you do in Philly? No, you're going to be exactly the same.
How is Deadshot different? What, his costume looks different? Okay.
Just his whole style, his whole attitude and everything.
Too much of his personality to begin with. We saw him react to 3 cutscenes. Everything else is pure combat.
So, I don't know. I'm not getting Gotham vibes at all. I'm not getting Arkham vibes from this game whatsoever. I think it would have been better if they just went off and did their own original IP.
Because you're talking.
Forget the Arkham games. Why do they have to tie to the Arkham games?
They didn't, because it's their IP. They're doing the IP. Why not put it in the same universe if you're using the same brand? That just makes sense.
Because it allows them to have even more creative freedom without tying it to that universe. And from what it seems like, it looks almost like an alternate universe. Also,
they already expanded expanded the creative freedom to make this game.
I don't know. Like I said, would have made sense if they just didn't tie it at all. Just had a brand new IP. Start fresh. Just start fresh.
I mean, it does. It makes sense. It does. That doesn't really. That's a very small gripe. That's a mountain made to a molehill.
Not really though. Because people coming in from the Arkhamverse, like Arkham fans, diehard Arkham fans, right? They're expecting this game to be like an Arkham game. Had the same feel as an Arkham game, because that's the whole point if you're going to make it in the Arkhamverse.
You're not playing as the same fucking characters.
It doesn't matter.
Yes, it does. That's the whole point of this game. The whole point is to do it from a villain's perspective, do it from a different perspective in a different city.
That's fine, but at the same time, if you're going to make it part of the same universe, have it have some resemblance of that universe, because so far it doesn't.
That's going to be a different thing. Daredevil's world is way different than the Avengers world. It has a completely different vibe.
Yeah, but these are all Batman villains. These are all Batman villains that look nothing like they did in the Arkham games. So what the fuck?
Technically, most of them cross over, but that's neither here nor there.
Except for Captain Boomerang, all of them are Batman villains, okay? They're all Batman rogues. King Shark is also Flash.
Yeah.
King Shark is also Flash. But still.
After a while, they all just swap villains.
They do, but Deadshot and Harley are both Batman rogues.
I don't remember seeing Luther in any Arkham game. So
But we also just saw the art that he was a thing in this game. Also, he looks weird in this game too. I'm not even gonna lie. He looks weird. He looks like he doesn't have a neck. Like, what the fuck is up with that?
being in a suit. Who knows?
I don't
I
know.
mean,
Who knows? But
it's all right. I mean, I don't mind the RPG elements. I don't mind, the customization. I think that's dope.
oh
Uh,
no, I'll be the first to say this is a games for service, and I'm mad because none of the characters fucking look unique. They all get the same freaking type of weapons throughout them. All their combat looks exactly the same. The only difference is their movement.
what
And
about? No, they don't.
dude, they all have access to the exact same guns. They said that in the dev talk at the end of the show. All of them, you can choose from. You can choose from assault rifle, pistol, heavy weapons, and
I heard
melee.
that. I'm talking about their powers in the actual
No,
combat.
no, no, I'm not talking about I'm saying like their powers and their movements. They are different, but the rest of it is just they all shoot the same way. They all have access to the same guns, which means most of it's going to be very, very, very similar, which is a bummer because they should have done it just shit. They should have done like fucking Arkham Knights, where like each of the characters play differently.
I mean, um, you can have variable customization even with that because you're still customizing the gun itself as well.
Yeah,
Like
but so customization of the gun, whatever. Like you're customizing the gun and you're customizing the look of your character, right? But apart from their just initial powers and their movement type, like Deadshot can hover, and Harley Quinn can swing. Freaking Captain Boomerang teleports apparently because he has a Speed Force gauntlet, which is wild.
that's so cool.
That is cool. I'll give you that. That is cool. Like their powers are cool, right? But like it would have been so much better if you had character specific weapons for each character, for each of them to play entirely uniquely. Like we see Harley Quinn with a minigun and then King Shark with a minigun, and I'm like, this is so like why?
I mean, it does give you the freedom to really tailor your style no matter what character you use because
Yes and no, but I don't know.
because the variation comes with their powers and how they move and how you use them. The guns, there's going to be some overlap. Cool, whatever. Like, just find whatever flavor gun you got and customize that. Like, that's okay. That didn't bother me too much. But like, what I was looking for is flow of combat, and those two things are there for me. It looks like it flows nice. Looks like
I will also say the combat looks extremely cartoony, but it is kind of the vibe of Suicide Squad at the same time. So
yeah. So I think that they're doing a really good job, really giving this game its own flavor, giving its own personality, and really showcasing not only villainy in the DC universe in general, but just the city and everything through their perspective, like they said.
yeah,
If that makes sense. So I mean,
I have a lot of gripes with what I saw. And another one is like the story you're having the Suicide Squad go up against Brainiac. Like that's kind of wild, but it is what it is. The Amanda Waller actress, they chose the same actress that played Sari Junda from Jedi Fallen Order, which was kind of interesting. Kind of dig that. She's super fun. She's super good. I don't know. I have way too many gripes with what I've seen so far. The battle pass is fucking bullshit. Fucking hate that. I think that's stupid.
It's stupid, but they said, hey, if you care, buy it. If you don't.
But the whole thing is going to be games as a service because of it. So it's like, okay, get ready for a shit ton of microtransactions.
See, yeah, we'll see if they go that route.
They will. They will. They're going to have a lot of cosmetic microtransactions. I almost guarantee it. They're going to be, special unlockable guns and outfits and paint and shit. I'm like,
said it was purely cosmetic, so performance means
yeah, but still, purely cosmetic. That's fine, but at the same time, fuck it. Like, why?
Hey, they're wasting their time, not mine, and they're not wasting my money. So
Except I don't. Like I said, I have too many gripes with everything I've seen, and I've almost all of my hype about this game has disappeared. from everything I've seen. I'm like, yeah, it's going to be a video game for video game's sake. It's dropped from a day one to an on sale purchase for me. Exactly like, Atomic Heart, exactly like Gotham Knights, like just not hitting.
If I was in a different mood, I'm not really in the mood for my first-person immersive story-based shooter right now, like Bioshocky. I'm not in a Bioshocky mood right now. I'm in a Doom mood. I want to fuck some shit up in like 2.8 seconds with all my weapons at the same time and do it simultaneously. So that's kind of when I'm in FPS mode, I'm playing boomer shooters or like I'm playing.
Yeah,
Doom.
no, I get it. I feel like this game is really just going to be a mix between Gotham Knights and Marvel's Avengers, because it looks more like mission-based combat or mission-based gameplay, not just like free roam and stuff like that.
They mentioned open world. They said, you're going to be able to explore the city and, go where you want and have fun.
But I have a feeling it might be more similar to Gotham Knights, the way they structured it like that, where like you can free roam, but everything is mission-based.
Yeah.
Which, again, not a huge fan of, just really not. Like, if they had kept the same structure as the Arkham games, like, that would have been great, because the Arkham flow was freaking amazing. It was
You went to
pinnacle.
You went to a place. You started
it was classic RPG like flow, and I love that.
I mean, it's probably going to keep that same momentum. Like it's not.
I don't think it will. From what we've seen, I don't think it will.
We didn't see much. They didn't say anything about it, so we just have to wait and see.
I guess. I don't know. I'm just.
Relax. It'll be fine. Jesus.
It'll be fine. I'm holding my games in 2023 to a much higher standard than fine.
No,
right?
that wasn't a directed at how the game's going to turn out. I'm saying the situation is going to be fine.
No, the game is going to be fine. I'm calling it right now. It's going to be fine.
Well, I guess I'll have all the fun for you.
I will like, same with Gotham Knights. I'm going to buy it at some point, but it's not a day one purchase for me anymore. It was when I first saw it. I was super hyped. I'm like, this looks freaking lit. It's made by Rocksteady. I'm going to get that Arkham vibe. It's going to be freaking awesome. The more I see about it, the less I'm hyped about it. I'm just like, man, like, I don't know if just a cynical gamer in me, but
no,
Jesus.
You gotta change your perspective on it. And I've already literally told you, why it's not an Arkham. It's not, it's in the Arkham version. Not going to get Arkham vibes. It's not Gotham City. It's Metropolis. You're playing with Suicide.
No, I know.
Totally different.
I know.
So you're not going to get those vibes. Point blank. I don't know why that was such a surprise.
I mean, I was expecting at least some, like, Arkham grime and stuff to these characters. Like, they look, like I said, they look more like Injustice characters than anything else. They get, like, the character models and the art style is giving me huge Injustice vibes.
Kind of, like their outfits look kind of Injustice-y, but they have their own. I mean, they have their own flair too. Like, I think I like it because it's really just Rockstar isn't mad, and I've been wondering this for so long. Like, what would these characters look like in Rocksteady? Because they made Robin look so badass. They gave him that shave. They gave Tim Drake that shaved dome and that hoodie and that fucking.
Well, he was in Rocksteady though. Like, we already saw half these characters in Rocksteady vibe already. But the thing is, nothing here looks like the classic Rocksteady that we know. It's completely different.
No, there were some characters we haven't seen in Rocksteady yet. Like, I never saw Boomerang or.
Well, no, he's the only one that has that Arkham vibe to him. He's the only one that I've seen that has that Arkham vibe to him. Freaking, like, Deadshot has like a glossy look to him, like a super clean look to him, which is weird. Same as Harley, which is bizarre to see. Like, you never see her with like a clean look ever.
She's not. She looks like a psychopath. She looks like she's in Lollipop land. Like, that's her. That's her thing.
I guess, but I don't know. I'm just everything about it. I'm just getting meh from it. So we'll have to see more when it actually releases. Do we have an actual release date for it?
Yeah, it's March. May.
March?
Sorry.
May?
No, it's May 20 something.
May 20 something? All right. Well, we have a couple months, so we'll just have to wait and see for that game. We're probably going to get at least one more trailer or one more showcase about that game before it releases. So, we're going to be talking about it again more when that comes out. And then, we're going to give you another review when that comes out as well. I might end up getting a day one depending on what else is around and what my situation is, but we'll see. Because that's definitely one of the more anticipated games of this year.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. I think it's gonna hit. It looks like it's gonna have it has a completely different vibe from Gotham Knights or Arkham Knights, and I think that's gonna be really good. And it's gonna just be like in the middle, and
Yeah.
yeah, it's gonna be fun.
We'll see. We'll have to wait and see. But guys, what do you guys think?
There, I need that performance to be there. God damn it!
Well, yeah, there is that for
Optimize
sure.
it. Optimize it. All right.
Yeah, definitely have to get the optimization up there. But guys,
All right.
what do you think of the first state of play of 2023? Did it hit for you? Was it kind of a bummer for you? What did you think about, any of the games that we talked about? What did you think about Suicide Squad? Let us know all your thoughts, comments, criticisms, concerns down in the comment section below. Thanks so much for watching. If you liked this video, please hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, not subscribed yet, we're doing a lot like every week. This video is taking place of our regular Friday show because there's no chance in hell that I was going to be able to record this and edit it and upload it in a 24-hour period. So no, not happening. Sorry guys. So this is your Friday show. This is your proper gaming talk show for this week. Enjoy
Cheap
it.
bastard.
I don't have time. All right, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Stay excellent. I'll see you guys in